dandy. I'm in bed. I'm totally in my pajamas and chilling here with Bob. Um, it's Dark Odyssey Day today. I'm so excited. Master is at work. He's gonna come after work. I have a volunteer shift for a big chunk of the day today, so I'm gonna be going to the event pretty fast here. But I need to finish packing. But I figured I would take a moment to answer the few questions that I got on my recent video. Only got like 2 questions from somebody, but I wanted to answer it. And I also wanted to say, yeah, Dark Odyssey! And happy Veterans Day. Thank you for everybody out there that has served. Hi, Tina, you're up really early. I'm off work today because of the holidays, so luckily I'm able to go to Dark Odyssey today. Yeah, I was like, "Are you off of work, Tina?" Yeah, Dark Odyssey. I know I totally look horrible. I'm totally in my pajamas. My hair is all everywhere. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to answer the questions that I got. So the first question was, how did I realize that I was a slave? Oh, okay, gotcha, Tina. Um, how did I realize I was a slave and did I have a hard time accepting my sexual orientation? Those are two very separate questions to me, but I'll start with the first one. And I sort of touched on it on one of my videos. So I was in a DS relationship pretty early in my journey. I was probably about 7 months into being in the scene, and I met somebody, and we had a DS relationship. And I always found myself feeling like it wasn't enough. Like I wanted more power exchange, more of his time, more dedication. And I knew quite a few slaves from the beginning of my journey, and I always like really looked at them with admiration and like, oh, I love how the dynamic looks. I mean, I know everybody's dynamic is different. I'm not saying anybody's dynamic is the same, but I always was like, oh, that looks so interesting, and so I ended up spending some time with a TPE couple. They're a little different than what I'm into necessarily now, but they really helped me realize that this is what I wanted. So that's how I realized what I wanted. I actually came out to my parents and everything, had the conversation like, this is what I want. And they were like, if it makes you happy, as long as the person's safe and not going to really harm you. But I'm lucky to have parents that aren't didn't freak out and go screaming and running away. So, um, but yeah, so that's kind of how I realized that I was a slave, and my best friend's also a slave. Um, and we've been friends since we were like 12 and 13. And she's gonna be there this weekend. Ah, I'm so excited. Sorry, I'm really excited to see her. It's been a long time. But yeah, so Tina, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. Um, so that's kind of how I realized that I was a slave. It was a long journey. I feel like it was like, and I met up with my former dominant. We are still friends about 6 months after we broke up, and I was like, I think I'm a slave, and this is what I really want. And he's like, that makes a lot of sense. I could definitely see you liking that and like excelling and enjoying that. Um, and I've always been a service type of person. I go to a vacation in a group, and I'm helping everybody, and um, helping cook, helping in any way I can. So it's nice to have kind of a targeted place to put that service. Um, that's kind of undersaying it, but you know what I mean. Maybe you know what I mean if you're a slave or if you receive service. Maybe you understand what I'm saying. So that was probably a course of like a year and a half, 2 years once I was in Kink. Aw, thank you, Tina. Like unicorn sense kisses. Yeah, so it's was definitely a journey to even find a master type. I was so picky, of course, and so scared of like, I'm not just gonna like jump into something. I mean, I sort of jumped in with master, but it was like we talked a lot before we ever did anything in person before I went to meet him. And I knew I was looking for somebody very experienced. I'm not, as you guys seen my other videos, I'm not a very conventional type of slave. I'm an alpha type personality. I'm very silly, and I'm not the slaves aren't silly, but I definitely like have a different personality than the standard slave. There is no standard slave, but you know what people think of as a standard slave. So that's why I was like, oh, this is going to be challenging, especially because I'm not a masochist.
And I kept running into people that were like, I only want masochist, only want masochist. And I was like, it's great if that's what you like, but if you're more focused on like beating somebody than actually like the dynamic, I'm probably not interested in being in a dynamic with you anyway. And I ran into that quite a lot. Interestingly enough, that's me and my mom did we talked for a year. Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, talking really it really helps. We talked for probably about 3 or 4 months, but like every night all the time and on Skype. And I watched a ton of his videos. That was a lot of how I realized what he was like. So it was really helpful to have his videos. He's like, "You're lucky because you have my videos." I was like, "Yeah." I mean, there's a lot of videos, so about his opinions and stuff. So it's kind of able to suss out like what kind of person he was. But basically, yeah. So as far as my sexual orientation goes, I would say being a slave is kind of a part of my sexual orientation, but I'm technically queer, or pansexual, or bisexual. Well, not bisexual because I like all different spectrums. I like all kinds of people. I don't just like men or women. I've dated trans people, I've dated gender fluid people, genderqueer people. So I don't consider myself, I guess, bi because that's way too, right? So I would consider myself queer or pansexual, and then like being a slave is kind of part of that because I really love the power exchange stuff. But in our dynamic, I'm still allowed to be with other people, obviously with his permission and with some rules, of course. We're not quite there yet, but yeah. So I like people. I'm always just attracted to like the personality of somebody and the energy of somebody, because I do like the energy work, and I've always just been attracted to certain types of energy. So I would say I tend to be attracted to more dominant when it comes to men. I'm more attracted to like dominant energy, or queer people like more dominant and like penetrating energy. But when it comes to women or like sometimes some queer people, it can depend because I've definitely co-topped before, topped women. There's a few women I play with, so it's not and not late before I met Master, and that's still allowed. But anyways, I'm going into all this personal stuff. But I guess it's a personal question, so I can't really avoid the personal stuff. But basically, yeah, I came out to my dad as bisexual at like 12 years old, and he was like, "Okay, whatever." Like he totally thought it was a phase. But yeah, I have a long history of being with different genders and stuff. I dated a couple women in college and stuff, and dated a couple trans people. Um, so yeah, it's not like I guess I could understand where the question was coming from that like being a slave is part of my sexual orientation. But as far as accepting the slave part of myself, maybe that's what the question was kind of asking. That has been hard. That's a continuous thing. And one of the resources, I don't think I have it physically here. There is this great book that I recommend, called Slavecraft, and I started reading it on the plane ride or before. I went to go meet Master, and it has just really helped me kind of put things in perspective as far as like, um, where being a slave comes from and kind of how that functions. I really highly recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon. I wish I could find my copy. I want to bring it to Dark Odyssey with me because I'm almost done with it, but I highly recommend that. accepting accepting that has been challenging, just because of my personality and how people perceive me, because I am this like big loud silly being, and have really intense energy. And so it's really funny. I think when I first came out, like everybody in the community and my parents were just like, what? Oh, thanks, Tina. Yeah, really check out that book, though, Slavecraft. My best friend is the one that told me about that one. There's also another one, that I'm reading chunks of that my friend's reading about sacred sexuality, by Lee Harrington. And that one has some good section, a really good section about Master Slave. I have not read the whole thing, disclaimer, but I have read parts of the Master Slave section, and I thought it was really good. I would love to do a video on that at some point once I read the whole book, and also the Slavecraft book. But the Slavecraft book is really, really, really good, and it's short. It's really short. It's like 90 pages or something, 100 pages, but it really gets to the heart of it. He's coming from a he's a gay male perspective, but it's still the same concept. But yeah, like as far as I guess being a slave could be a sexual orientation in a way, but yeah, it's just I guess it's funny that I would be a slave, right, based on my personality and my life. But I've come to realize it's like it is an aspect of strength, and that's kind of how Master looks at it too. He's like, it takes a really specific kind of person to serve in that capacity and be strong enough. And he always says, like, most of the best slaves are actually doms that just choose to serve and submit. And that's his perspective, just to be really clear. And I don't identify as a dom, but I definitely have a dominant personality, but also a very serving personality and caring and nurturing personality. So, but it's interesting when we think about it like that. And some of the literature that I've read, it says that being a slave is like extremely strong. People think of it as not being a strong thing, but it's extremely strong. You're basically pushing yourself every day in your life to serve somebody and be better. And that is extremely growing. And that is very spiritual and holistic in its own right, if you think about it. Like, if you're pushing yourself to, you are pushing yourself to be better all the time. And I love that. I love growth. So that's why it also lines up with who I am as a person, my personality. But there can still be challenges. So, any questions, Tina? I figure I will ask, and I totally know. I just like chilling in my pajamas and my hair is like doing like 10 billion different things. But yeah, I'm just really excited for Dark Odyssey. I'm gonna finish packing soon. Yeah, it's one of those mornings. I'm so glad I'm not at work. I'm just very tired, and I have a 6-hour volunteer shift today. So we'll see how fast that goes. Got to get into San Francisco for the convention. Like I said, Master's coming later in the day, so. But I'm really excited. I know I'm such a dork, and my hair is like. But yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Deborah, about the sexual orientation and the slave. Like when I realized I was a slave. Um, you have one, but you don't know how to ask. Okay, Tina, try your best. You can write a few things, read paragraph or whatever that you need to do, or you can save it for another time. We'll probably maybe do some live shows or do something while we're at Dark Odyssey. I don't know how exhausted we're gonna be. Um, I do have like one friend, one semi ex partner, somebody I'm sort of seeing again that I'm gonna play with. So I'm not sure how busy like it's gonna be in general. I know tonight I'm gonna be tired as hell from working a 6-hour volunteer shift. It's almost like a full work day. So, but we will try our best to do a live show. So if you probably Monday we'll do something. Um, I would love to do a video with my best friend if her master allowed that, about the Slavecraft book. I would love that because that book is really good. I cannot recommend that enough. The Slavecraft book. I think it's Guy Baldwin that wrote that one. Hi, person. How does one truly serve their dom? Ooh, that's a really hard question. What do you mean by that question? Because everybody has a different. If you have a long distance relationship, so we did long distance. Oh, hi, new person. I don't know who's there, but hi. We did long distance for a few months. I would say long distance power exchange is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Honestly, it's really tough. My advice is a lot of communication, obviously, and doing the things for him or her or them. Uh, they're not there to see that you're doing them. They're not there monitoring you doing them. They're not physically seeing. Like sometimes on low cam and stuff, but like any kind of task they give you during the day or any kind of thing. Okay, and then I'll get to this question: what are your fetishes, like choking, etc. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Let me finish this thought. Hi there. But basically, like, it's about doing those things, honoring somebody and serving somebody, even when they're not watching. That's what really makes a slave, right? Is you're doing it even though the person doesn't, like, they know you're doing it, but they're not going to be there like, hey, Tina, you're not doing that. Like, you're doing it because you want to, because you want to serve them. And that's, I think, where that comes into play, is like the deep serving in that way, and by honoring what they want and what they ask of you. So I don't know if that helps, Tina. That's just a little snippet. I could probably talk about this for a really long time, and maybe we'll do me and Master will do. I'll ask him if we can do a video about that. I know he has some old videos about slave and cyberspace stuff, but I'm gonna get to the next question about my fetishes. I don't want to get too crazy on here because it's yeah, because the YouTube rules, but If you go to my fet, I have all of my fetishes there. I'm really into how much should I say? Um, I'm really into rope. I'm really into orgasm play specifically. I really love energy play, um, that kind of stuff. Thank you, Tina. I'm glad that helps. And maybe we'll do a larger video. Not big on choking because I'm an asthmatic, but I've done it. Um, yeah, I love sensation play. I've gotten into cathartic scenes with Master. I never was really into a lot of like impact play before, because I'm quite uh, sensitive to everything. So, but I do like some of it now, and I do like some more. I like aggressive stuff. Like I love primal stuff, and I love like feeling like I'm being captured or like taken. That's something I really like. I like that feeling. So that's partially the feeling that I like about being a slave too. Is I don't always get that intensity of it, but like this feeling of like being obtained and like taken and like owned. I really like that. So and getting sometimes that intensity in play is really awesome too. So I hope that answers your question. That's probably my major like fetishes. But I really like power exchange. Did you have? Did you ever have a much older guy or boyfriend before kink? Is that the question? Because let's see. So not really. Well, before I got in the scene, I mostly dated people that were like 3 or 4 years older than me. I never really dated anybody that was like way older. Then my former dominant was the same age as my master now. So he was considerably older, like 15 years older. But I mostly only dated like people that are 4 or 5 years older max. So I never was particularly like I want an older guy, but I always would find too that like anybody younger, even women that were my age, um, kind of queer people or trans people are a little different, but people my age I tend to not click with like romantically, and I'm really weird about like emotional stuff. Um, that's kind of how like I've ended up with men. I think is just because I'm like very weird emotional. Like I'm not a traditional woman. How old are you, by the way, Antina? How old are you? I am 20. Well, how old am I? I'm like losing my mind. I'm 26. I can't even believe I forgot how old I am. I am 26, and Master is, he's 43. So we are like 18 years apart. And what was your name, new person? Because it says no name. I just see like a hand. So I would like love to know something about you. I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this question and answer things. That's fair, Tina. I'm willing to share my age, but yeah, I'm 26. I just turned 26 in September. I'm still a baby, is what everybody says, but um, yeah, it's I never really had dated like older. I think just the scene. There's like a lot of older. Hi, Phil. Totally okay though, Tina, not to give personal information. I'm obviously putting myself like, way out there right now by like sitting here doing these videos. 21. Okay. And how did you learn about the scene, Phil? Or like what are you interested in? And yes, I had my former dominant was older and then master's older, and then I have a partner that I've seen for 3 years that's like a play partner, casual partner who's married and kinky, and we have been together like 3.5 years, and he's in his 30s, so okay, just need a BDSM. Okay, well, welcome. I'm going to a kinky convention this weekend with my master, and I'm so excited. That's why I started the video. I'm going to pack very shortly for that, but yeah, so excited! Just have to give everybody a little bit more waggling unicorn. Um, totally fine, Tina. Nobody's mad. Um, like I said, don't have to share any kind of personal information that you don't want to share. But yeah, so Phil, do you have any questions for me about BDSM stuff? I'm probably gonna go in a little bit because I need to pack. Master told me to wake up by 9. It's like 8:30, so I'm early. But I would like to get a head start. But any other questions? And I hope I answered the fetish thing. Yeah, I know. It's like the fetish thing can get really rated R, like really fast. But I'm Dandy Corner on Fat Life. If anybody wants to go look at that and see what I'm into, that's yeah. There's like an extensive list. Any suggestions how to be a better dom? So I am a slave. I am not a dom. So I'm probably not the best person to ask the question to, but I have been with a couple of different doms. Um, what I recommend though, this is gonna sound a little pompous, but go to Master Hook's channel and read some of it, watch some of his videos about being like a new dom or about dom stuff. There's like a lot of content there. Um, like 5 tips for new doms, basically like negotiating and being really honest about where you're at, new or not, about like this is what I'm experienced with, this is what I'm not experienced with, and being really honest about that. That's like one of the number one things, because if you pretend like, oh, I know how to do all this stuff, but you don't, and it can be really dangerous. Had people be in situations where somebody made it seem like they've been doing this stuff for a long time, something that was like elaborate, like a suspension, but they had like no experience and no classes and no knowledge about it, and did it to them anyways. So that's one of my tips. Also, like, just, yeah, communication is really important. And I think also being in a dynamic or in a scene with somebody who's compatible. And sometimes we do pick up play, or we do things that are just fun or whatever, or we end up in a relationship that doesn't work out, and that's totally fine. But I think once your style of being a dominant and the style of the submissive, those things have to match. And that's the thing with me and Master, is like, we're not like all high protocol all the time. He picks and chooses when he wants the high protocol, of course. We're gonna be that way this weekend, but how you like who you are as a dominant, like explore who you are as a dominant. Maybe, like, I know it sounds silly, like do some journaling, do some thinking about what style of dominant you are. Master always says he's like an Asian style dominant, like more the quiet, thinking, calm type. That's totally his style. At least in our relationship. What am I doing? Am I covering this? Okay, somehow I just flipped the screen. Um, okay, now I'm back. Um, wait, I can like put things on this? Dance party! Okay, I'm tripping myself out. I don't know what is, this is like, it looks like I'm on drugs or something. Yeah, pay attention to your pet slave if you have one. Talk to them. That's my opinion. Yeah, talk to them, definitely. Like, communication is really important. Um, and again, like, but knowing what they're like and their style is, and yeah, good aftercare. So it's very, very important. There's like a whole list of things about being a good dominant. Yeah, sorry, dance party was dance party. Let me like play with a couple of these. I know I'm probably driving you guys crazy here. Let's see. There's like black and white. I can like make myself black and white. Vogue. No, I'm just doing the door. But this is wow. I actually look pretty funny in this. So yeah, there's like so many things to your question of Phil. So also depends on what kind of relationship you're having, what but communication, negotiation, being really honest, checking in with whoever you're with, and just making sure your desires and styles are compatible, like for whatever you're doing. Like if you're doing a flogging scene and the person doesn't like, you know, thank you, Tina. I'm gonna lean back into bed. Tina, what do you like about Dom sexually, emotionally? That is a good question. I'd like to answer that too, if that's okay. Um, well, I obviously like masters, but I like dominant energy, as I said earlier. I like really intense, like dominant energy. Um, that's what I'm attracted to. So that's what I like about doms, especially ones that are really put together and are able to still be fun, but know their shit, and they just, yeah, they have like this. I don't know. I tend to actually end up with more calm dominance. My like a couple of my ex partners are very calm, but there's this like undertone. Here, I keep flipping this thing. There's like this undertone of like this dominance. I'm very high energy, so for me to have somebody that's like calm but dominant is really hot and really necessary. What was your list, Tina? I'd love to see, and then I probably should go soon. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different settings on here. Okay, I'm about to be really creepy. Ah! Okay, now it can be a picture. Whoa, that is like really creepy.
love the answer. There must be a few things, Tina, you can say. My master does engine play, power play. My master knows me very well. I love power play too. I think a lot of people that are just like that's like what they're interested. You know, it's like it's the power play. The power play stuff is really fun. That's one of I guess I would also say one of my fetishes. Knife play. Knife play is really fun. I think we're doing a knife play scene this weekend. This retreat. This conference. Yay! How often do are you long distance, Tina? If you don't mind sharing, and you'll notice though, like there's a big pattern of a lot of people end up with older dominants because they're more experienced. And not to say that younger dominants like can't be experienced or respectful, but I find a lot of times there's a lot of like this. There's this like fakeness of like, oh, I know all this stuff. Like I said, I've had people in situations where they made it seem like they're experienced and stuff. Just like if you're, especially if you're younger, I would just be like really honest about where you're at. I love energy play. I love power exchange with energy play. That's like the sexiest thing ever. It's super awesome. All right, I think I need to go in a minute. So Phil and Tina, if you have any other things to say or any other questions, oh, I'm so tired and still in bed, but I am so pumped to like go. Yes, I gotta say. And I turned the phone again. Okay, this is like gonna be a horrible video. This is totally horrible, but that's okay. I like answered the questions, so did you like guys? Ever liked a guy when you were much underage that's much older? Ooh, that's a really intense question. Is that even legal to answer that question? I was like, I mean, like on the internet, like on a video. Like, I think I'm gonna not say anything to that. I think it's normal to be attracted to older people. I think acting on it when you're underage is like a whole different thing, though. Or like being an older person that like does things with people that are underage. Like, I would never advocate for that. And if you're not of age, you shouldn't be watching this video. But I think it's normal to be like attracted to older people. But again, I think it's like there's within limits about like what is like obviously me and my master are like 18 years apart, but I am not underage. I'm 26. Like we never would be have been together if I was underage. So, but I do think that like that attraction is normal. And I mean, there definitely probably is some. I have seen some older women out there that like younger men, right? When they're in their 50s and their 40s, like there is. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been a very interesting chat. uh, I'm gonna leave you guys with some quick bubbles here. Bubbles, bubbles. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. If there's anything unsolved, you can put it in the comments if it's appropriate. And I'm gonna go. I do, but I don't want to. I don't want to give my Instagram because it has vanilla people in my family on it. But you can find me on FetLife, or you can leave a comment on the channel here. My master is Master Hook. He has a whole channel about all that stuff. That may be how you found me. I'm not sure. But I need to go pack. So bye, Valentina. Bye, everybody. And we will probably be posting something from Dark Odyssey. So, well, bye. I'm trying to finish the video and it's not. Okay.